I don't usually talk about things like this out loud. I'm the kind of person who keeps quiet, smooths things over, smiles even when I'm dying a little inside. But lately it's been sitting in my chest like a stone. My name's Ava. I'm 34. And I think I'm starting to mourn a relationship that still technically exists. You know when you're in something for so long that it stops feeling like a choice and starts feeling like gravity? That's where I am with Noah. We've been together almost 8 years. I used to look at him and feel this pulse in my chest, excitement, safety, heat. There was a night early on, we were in his old Honda with broken AC, sweating, windows down, and he reached across and tucked a strand of my hair behind my ear. It was stupidly romantic. I remember thinking, this man could ruin me, and I'd thank him for it. Now? He kissed me on the cheek this morning, and I flinched. Not physically. Emotionally. Like my body accepted it out of habit, but my heart rolled its eyes. It's not that he's done anything wrong. That's part of what makes it so hard to explain. There's no betrayal. No screaming matches. Just this slow leak. A constant, quiet erosion of something that used to feel sacred. Last week, we were lying on the couch, his legs under mine, my head on his chest, and he said, "You smell like laundry." I smiled. He meant it sweetly. But I realized I couldn't remember the last time he said I was beautiful. Or wanted. Or anything that felt remotely alive. Sometimes he pulls me into a hug and I tense, not because I don't love him, but because the hug feels more like checking a box than choosing closeness. Like he's saying, I did the affection thing. We're good, right? And I play my part. I touch his arm when I walk past him. I laugh at his same recycled jokes. I kiss him goodnight even when my body is restless and my mind is elsewhere. But inside, I feel like I'm vanishing. Then came that night. We were brushing our teeth, of all things. He looked at me in the mirror, no warning, no setup, and said, "Hey, would you date a guy like me?" I froze. Foam in my mouth. Electric silence. He was smiling, but I think he knew. Knew that something was off, even if he couldn't name it. And God. I didn't answer right away. I remember wiping my mouth, meeting his eyes in the mirror, and asking, "Why would you even ask that?" He shrugged. "I don't know. Just, sometimes you look at me like you don't see me anymore." And the terrifying part was, he was right. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no either. I just stood there, towel in hand, heart twisting, because I realized I wasn't sure. Not because he's a bad person. But because I don't recognize who I am in this relationship anymore. I used to feel sexy with him. Wanted. Lit up. Now I feel more like background noise. Useful. Reliable. Muted. I still love him. That's the hardest part. But I don't know if love is enough when the only version of me that fits with him is the one I keep shrinking into. So when he asked, "Would you date a guy like me?" I think the silence that followed was louder than any answer I could have given. And I haven't stopped hearing it since. Would you like me to continue this into a second part, maybe showing how she responds after that moment, or if they confront it further? I've always believed that love speaks in the small moments, the way he brushes the hair from my face, the way his hand finds mine in a crowded room. Noah is a high school English teacher. He thrives on words, grading essays until midnight, coaching the debate team, quoting Shakespeare to me as I wash dishes. So when the silence grew between us, I thought it would be easiest to lean into what he knew best, touch. Scene 1, after the parent-teacher conference. It's nearly 8 p.m. When he steps through our front door, tie loosened, briefcase in one hand, and a half-eaten granola bar in the other. "I stayed late for Marisol's mom," he says, dropping his bag by the couch. He's tired, every muscle in his body weighted with responsibility, but he still reaches for me. I want to collapse into his arms. I want to feel that familiar safety. Instead, I'm on edge. He wraps me in a hug so firm I can barely breathe. I missed you today, he whispers. I choke out a, glad you're home, and step back. He notices and kisses me, slow and urgent, but my lips barely meet his. He frowns, leans closer. Ava? I pull away, heart racing. Noah, can we sit? I need to talk. But he barely hears me. Already he's sliding an arm around my waist, drawing me in. Not now. Let's just be together, okay? My chest tightens. Together, yes, but I feel like you're always in a rush to fix things with a kiss. My voice is raw. I need you to listen first. His eyes flash confusion. He loosens his grip but still holds my hand. I listen all day to teenagers complain. I come home to you. Isn't that enough? I shake my head, tears pricking. That's exactly it. You listen to them. But you never listen to me. Scene 2, Saturday morning in the kitchen. Sunlight streams through the curtains. I'm making coffee. He comes in, yawning, and slides behind me to drape his arms across my shoulders. I lean into him, at first. But the hug stiffens into something mechanical. I squirm, turning in his arms. Is everything okay? He asks, planting a kiss on my neck. I pull back to face him. I told you, I need to feel heard. Not just held. He brushes a hand through his hair. You want a heart-to-heart at 8 in the morning? I haven't had coffee yet, AV. I stiffen. It's not about the coffee. It's about mornings like this when you'd rather glide across my skin than look into my eyes. His mouth tightens. So you'd trade my touch for my words? Yes, I whisper. Sometimes. He presses his lips together, an unspoken hurt passing across his face. In that moment, I realize, he thinks I'm rejecting him, rejecting his love, when all I crave is the emotional intimacy he offers so freely to his students but withholds from me. Scene 3, the debate later that afternoon. The tension hangs between us like static. I'm folding laundry, he's grading papers. Neither of us dares to speak. Finally, he stands and tosses a stack of essays onto the bed. Are we broken? He asks, and it sounds more fragile than I've ever heard him. My breath catches. I fold the last towel and turn toward him. No. But we're lost. He runs a hand through his rumpled hair. Lost how? My voice shakes. I feel invisible. I feel like the Noah everyone else knows, the passionate teacher, the caring mentor, but no one knows the man behind the chalkboard. And worst of all, I don't know how to reach him. He steps forward, hesitates, then cups my face with gentle fingers. I thought you just wanted me to show you I cared. I close my eyes, feeling the warmth of his skin but the cold distance in his touch. I need you to show me that you know me, my fears, my dreams, my heart, before you try to show me you love me. He nods slowly, sorrow in his eyes. I'm scared I'll mess it up. And I'm scared you already have, I admit. But I don't want to give up. He takes a shaky breath and leans in to press his forehead against mine. The moment, so fragile, cracks open something inside me. I can feel his steady heartbeat, hear his uncertain breath. In that heartbeat, I realize, this isn't about perfect words or perfect touches. It's about both of us daring to be vulnerable. And accepting that sometimes, a hug isn't enough, but not hugging at all is even worse. Next, we'll see if Noah can learn to speak the language of her heart, or if this misunderstanding will crack them forever. The sheets are warm from the dryer, and I'm standing in the bedroom trying to fold a fitted one without losing my mind. Noah walks in, shirtless, towel around his waist, fresh from a long shower. His skin smells like cedar soap, the kind I bought for him last Christmas when I still thought things like scents could save us. He grins when he sees me struggling with the elastic corners. Need backup? He asks, stepping in to help. Sure, I say, voice neutral. Not cold, but not warm either. We fumble through the fold, both pretending this is a moment of light domestic bonding. His fingers brush mine. I pull back automatically. He notices. I don't bite, you know, he says, laughing, trying to keep it light. I force a smile. He takes a step closer, a little too smooth, a little too practiced. He drops the sheet, wraps his arms around my waist, and presses a kiss to my neck. It lingers. He murmurs. You always smell like something soft. I tense. I want to enjoy this. I want to melt into it like I used to. But instead, my mind starts racing. Is this just his way of leading up to something? Will he act disappointed if I don't respond the way he wants? His hands slide lower, fingers skimming the waistband of my leggings, and I stiffen without meaning to. His hand lands on my ass in what I know he thinks is playful, affectionate. But it makes me flinch, just a flicker, and he catches it. He steps back slightly. What was that? Nothing, I say quickly, avoiding his eyes. He doesn't buy it. Did I do something wrong? No, I toss the sheet onto the bed, folding it without looking at him. You didn't do anything. It's me. He exhales slowly, frustrated. Ava, you keep saying that, but I feel like you pull away every time I try to get close. I'm tired, I mutter, even though it's only half true. I've got stuff on my mind. You've always got stuff on your mind lately. His tone isn't harsh, but it lands hard anyway. I nod, pressing my lips together. He walks over again, more gently this time, and turns me toward him. Can we just not be weird for once? Just let me hold you. I let him. I don't move away, don't resist, but inside I feel hollow. His lips find mine, soft at first, but searching. I kiss him back because I remember how, not because I feel it. His hands slide along my back. My body remembers what to do, how to respond, but my heart doesn't. I feel like an actress in a part one no longer auditioned for. I open my eyes mid-kiss and stare at the half-folded sheet on the bed. When he pulls away, his smile fades a little. That felt distant. I don't answer. I can't lie, and I don't want to hurt him with the truth. Instead, I say, can we finish folding? He nods slowly. Steps back. I watch him gather the blanket, and he doesn't touch me again. And in my head, the question I don't dare speak out loud spins like static on a broken radio. Why does everything have to turn into sex? It's date night. Or, at least, Noah is trying to make it one. He made reservations at this rustic little Italian place downtown, the kind with flickering candles and soft jazz playing too low to recognize. He even wore the navy button-down I once said made his eyes look like late summer water. Across the table, he smiles at me. I smile back, but it feels like I'm puppeteering my own face. He orders the wine I like. Recites a joke from one of his students. I nod, laugh softly, swirl my glass. I'm doing everything right. Every girlfriend thing. Every, let's keep this pleasant, thing. But underneath the surface, my chest is buzzing. Loud. Trapped. And then, halfway through the grilled artichoke, he says, you know, I was thinking today, if we met now, today, as total strangers, would you still go for me? He says it with a chuckle, like it's a harmless question. A flirty hypothetical. But something inside me snaps. I set my fork down too hard. The metal clinks against the plate. He looks up. I meet his eyes and say, way too fast, why do you keep asking me that kind of thing? He blinks. What kind of thing? Would you date me now? Do you still find me sexy? Would you choose me again? My voice is rising. I feel it, can't stop it. Why are you always fishing for something I can't give you? He leans back, startled. I didn't mean anything by it. I was just making conversation. No, you weren't. My throat tightens. You were testing me. Again. And I'm so tired, Noah. I'm tired of performing love. I'm tired of pretending everything's fine so you don't start spiraling. He stares at me, stunned silent. The couple at the next table glances our way. I keep going. I can't stop now. I can't even kiss you without wondering if you're going to think it's a green light for sex. I can't say I'm tired without you looking hurt like I've wounded your ego. I feel like I'm suffocating in a relationship that used to feel like home. His mouth opens, then shuts. He sets down his napkin slowly, deliberately, like he's holding back from saying something he'll regret. Finally, he mutters, "So I'm the problem?" I didn't say that, I whisper. But I did. Not with the words, but with all the things I've held back for months. He stares at me across the table, the candlelight flickering between us like a dying signal. I ask those things because I can feel you pulling away. And I don't know how else to reach you. I want you, Noah, I say, my voice cracking, tears now spilling down my face right in the middle of this goddamn restaurant. But I don't even know who I am anymore when I'm with you. He doesn't yell. Doesn't argue. Just sits there, still. Numb. Self-reflection. Later that night we didn't finish dinner. He paid in silence. I stared at my napkin like it held answers. Now I'm in the bathroom at home, door locked, sitting on the edge of the tub with my head in my hands. I shouldn't have said it like that. Not there. Not in public. He didn't deserve humiliation. He was trying, wasn't he? I hate that I blew up. I hate that I felt relieved after. And I hate that when he asked, "Would you date a guy like me?" I wanted to scream, I don't even know what I want anymore. I feel like a monster. A woman who has everything, kindness, loyalty, history, and still breaks the good man's heart. But the deeper truth? I'm the one who's breaking. I wipe my face with the sleeve of my sweater and whisper to no one, why does everything have to turn into sex? Not just the physical kind. The kind where affection becomes transaction. Where touching becomes expectation. Where intimacy is something you owe, not something you feel. And tonight, I said it out loud. Now the silence between us will either crack open something new, or close up forever. The silence isn't loud anymore. It's just normal. It fills our apartment like a low hum, present, familiar, almost easy to ignore until it isn't. Noah and I move around each other like we're trying not to disturb ghosts. The bedroom's colder at night, even though it's July. I think it's because we both stopped reaching for each other in sleep. He still makes the coffee every morning. Still leaves mine in the mug I like, the yellow one with the cracked handle. But now he doesn't say, "Morning." He doesn't kiss my temple. He just sets the mug down, sips his own, and stares out the window like it's easier to look at clouds than at me. I miss him. God, I miss him. Not just the way he used to pull me into his lap when I was upset. Not just the laughter that made my shoulders unclench. I miss the way he used to look at me, like I was the one person who made sense in his world of overbooked classrooms and overdue essays. And now, every time he glances at me, it's like he's trying to read a language he forgot how to speak. Scene, midweek, small cracks. I come home early from work one day and find him sitting at the dining table, laptop open, but he's not working. He's staring at a photo on his phone. I recognize it, us at that little cabin upstate, the one with the lake and the rowboat we almost flipped over. I remember laughing until I cried. He said he'd never loved me more than that weekend. He looks up. Our eyes meet. And for one second, I almost say something. But instead I fake a cough and retreat into the kitchen. Why? Because I don't know how to say, "I'm still here." I'm just lost. Because I think he's stopped hoping. And I don't know how to begin again when I was the one who pushed him away. Scene, Saturday evening, watching from a distance. Noah's in the living room, sitting on the edge of the couch, elbows on his knees, head bowed over a stack of old books. Not grading. Just reading. Slowly. He looks thinner. Not unhealthy. Just like someone who hasn't laughed in a while. His shoulders slump differently now, like he's bracing for something that never comes. I watch him from the hallway. I watch him and realize, he didn't walk away. He stayed. Even after I embarrassed him in public, even after I pulled away, even after I made him question his worth. He stayed. But he's grieving me. Quietly. Kindly. Not because I'm gone. Because I made myself unreachable. Her inner monologue, that night I curl up in bed, blanket tucked under my chin, listening to the soft sound of him brushing his teeth down the hall. I used to love that sound. That rhythm. That tiny routine that meant he was near. Now it feels like a countdown I don't know how to stop. And for the first time in weeks, I let the truth settle, this is on me, too. He tried, in the only ways he knew how. And maybe they weren't the ways I needed, but I didn't tell him until it was too late. I wanted emotional intimacy. But I shut him out when he offered anything less than perfect. I ache for his arms. For his voice. For the way he used to tuck a blanket around my feet without even asking. But do I want this again? This version of us? Can I rebuild what I helped tear down? I stare at the ceiling, the silence buzzing all around me. I take a deep breath. And then I whisper into the dark, I think I want to try, if he still wants me, too. The question hangs there, unanswered. But for the first time in weeks, it doesn't feel hopeless. It just feels real. The apartment is quiet. Not tense. Not angry. Just settled. It's Sunday, and the light filters in soft through the blinds, turning the dust in the air into something almost holy. Noah's on the couch, half asleep, glasses slipping down his nose, blanket pulled up to his chest like armor. We don't share the bed anymore. That just sort of happened. No big fight. No official decision. Just a slow drift that never got corrected. This morning, something in me stirred. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it was the ache of realizing I couldn't remember the last time I truly touched him, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but out of love. I walk over to the couch quietly. I half expect him to stir. He doesn't. His face looks older somehow. Not in years. In where? In quiet disappointments. I kneel beside him. Carefully. Like I'm afraid I'll break him if I move too fast. He blinks awake, just barely, and when he sees me, his mouth doesn't curve into a smile. But he doesn't turn away either. Hey, I whisper. Hey, he murmurs, voice hoarse. I reach for his hand, tentative, as if asking a question without words. He lets me hold it. His fingers curl around mine slowly. I miss you, I say, almost ashamed to say it out loud. He nods, but doesn't say it back. Instead, he says, I waited for you. For a long time. My eyes fill, and I look down at our hands, warm, familiar, and somehow, foreign. I know, I whisper. I wasn't ready. I was too scared to be real with you. I know that too, he says. There's no venom in his voice. No resentment. Just a dull ache. The kind that comes from finally letting go of something you once held with both hands. I lean forward slowly and rest my forehead against his. He exhales, almost like a sigh. Then I kiss his forehead, gently. Reverently. Like saying goodbye. When I pull back, his eyes are open. Sad. Kind. Distant. Not cold. Just, done. I asked you once if you'd date a guy like me, he says softly. Back then, I think I already knew the answer. Tears run down my face, silent. I didn't know it yet, I whisper. But I do now. He gives a small, tired smile. You would have loved me better if you'd met me now, I think. I would have, I say. But we both know timing isn't something you can rewind. Later that morning, he makes coffee again. I sit at the table, watching him, memorizing the shape of his back, the sound of his footsteps. We drink in silence. No promises. No sudden, cinematic kiss. Just the quiet, dignified grief of two people who once loved each other enough to try, and then hurt each other enough to stop. When he heads to the bedroom, I stay behind. And for the first time in a long time, I let myself cry, not because I want him back, but because I know I was too late. And he loved me until he didn't. You think love is something solid, something you built, so you don't check for cracks. You assume you'll feel it when it breaks. But you don't. Not at first. You just stop hearing your own laughter in the relationship. You stop reaching out. And eventually, you stop recognizing the version of yourself that shows up every day trying to make it work. I used to think desire was about touch. But now I know it's about attention. It's about being seen, truly, curiously, consistently, not just in bed, but in the middle of a grocery store argument or after a bad day when your mascara is halfway down your cheek. Desire is built in moments where someone says, I notice you. I care. I still want to know more. And emotional intimacy? That's the part one misunderstood the most. It's not soft lighting and long talks. It's the courage to say the messy thing, the scared thing, the hard truth, and trust that you won't be met with silence or shame. I used to wait for him to fix it. Waited for the perfect gesture, the conversation I wouldn't have to start, the moment that would prove he still knew me. But healing isn't something you wait for. It's something you choose. And I didn't choose it soon enough. By the time I reached for him again, he'd already let go. But I don't blame him. He held on longer than I deserved. I learned that love can exist, and still die. That two good people can hurt each other, not with violence, but with absence. With silence. With waiting too long to speak the truth. If you're listening to this, if any of this sounds like your story, please don't wait. Don't wait until your partner becomes a stranger in your own bed. Don't wait until they ask, would you still choose me? And you can't answer. Speak now. Even if your voice shakes. Because the scariest thing isn't losing love. It's realizing you were too quiet while it slipped away.